Hi, my name's Mark, one of the pastors here at Trillium. Last Sunday we looked at the song Over the Rainbow, probably one of the most beautiful songs ever written. In fact, it was voted #1 for the 20th century by two major music organizations, including the National Endowment for the Arts in the States. And the song, if you know it, from Judy Garland or a number of other covers, has this kind of melancholy to it, this kind of bittersweet feel to it. And it's interesting to me how a song that is melancholy at its core, bittersweet, can become the #1 song of maybe all time. I mean, you'd think that it would be a happy, upbeat song, but no, something cuts deep in us when we hear the song. And I've been listening to it a lot over the last few weeks, and there's that longing in the song for a better place, a dream in Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz, but I think in all of us who are attracted to the song and who connect with it. That dream that lies deep within us for a place where things are tangible and reliable, where there's a real love that endures in life. Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz is an orphan, and so many characters in stories are orphans. I mean, Luke Skywalker was an orphan, Harry Potter is an orphan. Many of the main comic book characters are orphans. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, they're all orphans. You just go down the list over and over again. Anne of Green Gables is an orphan. Tarzan was an orphan. Obviously, the use of orphan is meant to signal something to us. Maybe it's the character's isolation, the fact that they have no protector or defender or someone who's totally committed to their best interests in life. That's certainly Dorothy's experience at the beginning of The Wizard of Oz. She's shunted off the side by her aunt who doesn't seem very interested in her. And that's when she sings the song Over the Rainbow. I think all of us connect with that song because I think we feel the isolation and the precariousness of life. I had an uncle who was an orphan. He grew up an orphan. He was an orphan quite young, at 3 or 4, and he stayed in the orphanage his whole life, his whole childhood, until he was about 16 or 17. He didn't have a rescue moment in his life like you see in the movies. And that must shape you in a powerful way. It's interesting, he told me a story about when he flew in the United States Air Force during World War II. He's just gotten out of the orphanage, actually. He was only a couple years out, and he joined up with the Air Force and was flying out of Italy into Eastern Europe, into Romania, to bomb the oil fields there. And he was talking about the tight-knit crew he was a part of, and the real sense of camaraderie, family for himself. One day he was coming back on one of their missions, and he took shrapnel in the leg from ground flak. And so there he is convalescing in the base hospital, and a couple of days later, he sees his plane and his crew take off for another mission. And they never came back. They died in transit, shot down, killed. And in that moment, this 80-year-old guy who really never shared his emotions, you can see tears coming down his face, and it just struck me so powerful, the experience he had. I mean, it must have hit him on so many levels, but maybe the deepest level is that he lost his family. For a moment in life, even in the midst of war and chaos, he belonged somewhere. I think that's what we're all yearning for, some place where we belong in life, really belong, and it's reliable and durable. See, in this world, no matter what kind of home you find, it's transitory. It can go like that in a moment. And so Dorothy pines away for this other world, a kind of heaven in a sense. I think a lot of the addiction problems people have today is because that dream inside of them, which is so powerful, is needing instant fulfillment. People want to experience that other world, and sometimes we turn to kinds of substances that will attempt to get us to that world quicker than we might otherwise. Or sometimes in life we want that world to come to us now. And we have to live in the in-between time. Because the truth of the story of Wizard of Oz is that Dorothy goes off to Oz looking for love and home, and she recognizes in Oz that she already had it back in Kansas. She spends most of the movie trying to go back home again. The beauty of our lives here today is that home and that yearning that's so deep in us, it's so powerful, that waits for us in some other reality is nonetheless here too, right in front of us, right before us. We too can join in that moment with Dorothy when we recognize that home lays right in front of our hearts.